What's up, guys? Mr. Gaming Counselor here. I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this brutally honest review. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and please share the video with as many people as possible all over the internet, Reddit, Twitter, whatever. Put a lot of effort into this this review, and I'm pretty proud of it. Please give it some love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Single player games are dead. Live service games are the future of a brave new world. We possess the technology to control the minds of the gamers. But it's insufficient. We must continue and expand our control. We must continue to expand AAA slop, microtransactions, players. We need to continue half-baked games for a quick buck. Today, Timu Wesker, you're going to have to go through me. I'm Pete Grossman, son. Who are you? What can I say? I'm what the gamers want, and you're just a cheap imitation. Listen, dude, I'm trying. Cosplay isn't cheap. You know how much this cost me to do? Like, it's not perfect, but damn, I'm trying here. You think you can stop my plans? Yeah, I do. Because I'm the hero the gamers want. Just look at the Steam charts, sucker. No. Oh.
Resident Evil.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. Resident Evil. That's right, we are back, scholars, with a brutally honest review of Resident Evil Requiem, when Capcom revealed Leon Kennedy at the Game Awards in 2025. The leaks came out, and honestly, I was a little worried that Resident Evil Requiem would struggle because the story was supposed to be focused, the leak was, focused around Grace, and Leon was going to be nothing more than a background character. However, Resident Evil 9 not only balances Leon and Grace playtime, but it nails the gameplay dynamic. It uses it to tell the story in a real meaningful way. After beating the game 5 times at this point, I can confidently say that Resident Evil Requiem is one of the best releases in the franchise all the way since Resident Evil 4, the original. Over 5 million copies, 6 since I'm now recording this, rising to the top of the Steam charts both in player count and sales, with massive reviews on Metacritic. Dare I say it? This game might be freaking game of the year. The action, reminiscent of Resident Evil 4, with only a splash of previous Resident Evils with their more over-the-top effects, while also catering to the classic fear-inspiring gameplay of the older Resident Evil games. I would even argue that the action sections of the game, you will be scared at moments that you least expect it.
Yeah, there's no way you go through this without healing, unless it's casual. Oh, about that tits! Fuck you.
We've seen this dual story portrayal many times, with a lot of them failing. A perfect example is Halo 5's campaign, which was not received well at all. However, Resident Evil 9 achieved success with both Grace and Leon, like Arbiter and Master Chief did in Halo 2. Each side brings its own narrative with it, and unique experiences only achieved by the individual characters.
We meet again, Mr. Kennedy. What are you doing? Woo! I thought I downloaded big boobs for Grace to make her goonable. I mean, playable. But hey, yeah, Leah's got them titties now. Let's go, baby. What the fuck is wrong with you? Hits R Us is a great mod. Recommend it to anyone.
For example, the first time Grace Ashcroft shoots a gun in Requiem,
This. Fuck you.
Jesus.
you can literally see her hand shaking with terror and anxiety. As a result, her aim isn't as stable and the gun is overwhelming to the player visually. Having a gun with Grace doesn't remove the fear of, the fear of resources are still there, especially when they're very limited. This inspires moment-to-moment situations that cause you to be on the edge of your seat. As you're frantically running and hiding and trying to stealth and survive, you feel the fear and anxiety that Grace feels. Leon Kennedy, in comparison, is your cliche action hero. Hoo-ha! Very much continuing his gameplay style from Resident Evil 4. So if you played Resident Evil 4 Remake, you'll feel right at home with Leon. As soon as you control him, he's kicking down doors, throwing axes to his enemies, and using chainsaws to mow down hordes of infected, which is something new because most of the time, Leon is trying to avoid chainsaws. Payback's a bitch, Zombinos.
Stop. I'm tired of your bullshit. Fuck you, bitch. You dirty hoe. Yeah, take that up the ass, bitch. All right, chainsaw versus chainsaw. Let's see who's better at it, you or me. Oh my God, we're actually chainsaw fighting.
Grace. I will have to say, when I first played Grace, I hated her because she kept on making stupid decisions that felt like stupid choices. Like, you have a gun, use it. Why are you freaking out? Why are you letting people die?
Use your fucking gun, lady. Why do you not use a fucking gun? Why do you not use your fucking gun? How many people have to die because you won't use your fucking gun?
But the more you play, the more you realize Grace is a perfect example of how most people would react in real life. Sure, there'll be absolutely people like Leon in real life who would be going to town on zombies, but most people who lived peaceful and safe lives would 100% lose their shit when they're kidnapped and find themselves in the zombie version of Jurassic Park. Though I do feel like as an FBI agent, you should have gone through some training to help overcome some of that anxiety, especially when using a gun. But plot logic. I mean, seriously, there are some true terrifying moments from Grace's perspective that I don't feel like are cheap jump scares. The section of the game where you run for your life from the psycho children, genuinely, I was unnerved.
Nothing to see here, just... This is what happens when kids have LSD in their Cheerios.
Where am I?
That's a good question. Why?
Now, crafting has been part of the Resident Evil franchise, but Capcom has introduced a new element in crafting in Requiem. Instead of simply picking up gunpowder, now you absorb blood with the blood collector mechanic, which in hindsight is actually kind of weird and makes zero sense. You're running around jabbing needles into piles of blood to soak it up and then convert it into bullets. Healing items like kind of can get behind and kind of make sense. You know, blood is medical, but ain't no way you're turning blood into bullets unless you're a bloodbender in Avatar.
What are you doing?
Well, listen here. Grace says that when she absorbs blood, but the infected blood, she could make ammo. And I thought, you know what? What the hell? I'm infected, so I could just keep stabbing myself and make infinite ammo. Genius. Who needs a sugar daddy when you're the sugar? Am I right?
That's not how that works. You're just going to end up... And he just passed out. I'm getting too old for this shit.
Leon, however, has introduced a new level of badassery that I didn't think could exist. Old man Leon, 50 years old, still kicking ass. Plenty of memes of Leon as an old man in a wheelchair fighting zombies. It kind of feels like that at this point. But we love Leon, and we are glad to see him back. The entire game with Leon is exuding aura. He's the definition of a fucking Chad. From the moment he rolls up in his Porsche to check out his expensive ass watch.
Ooh, a Porsche.
Some of the edges.
God dang, Leon's got this.
Check it out.
He's got some style.
To clean new jacket. No wonder this man is surrounded by women. From his clever one-liners.
Dude, he is literally a Wesker knockoff.
Aren't we fancy?
To his brutal over-the-top finishers, Leon provides a plethora of ways to feel like a badass. Not only that, but they introduced a refined version of the parry system that was introduced in Resident Evil 4 Remake. And when I say refined, I mean Capcom must have loved the anime I Parry Everything, because Leon is just that guy. From normal zombies, from cars thrown at you, both on the ground and in the air, boss attacks, even an RPG. I wouldn't be surprised if Leon could literally parry an airplane.
The plain truth is, I parry first class.
While we are on the subject of the over-the-topness of Leon, we finally have found a moment in the Resident Evil history franchise that has toppled the absurdness of Chris Redfield punching a boulder. Hell, a moment so absurd that even villains in the series use it as an actual insult to Chris.
No! Where my lordy? That boulder punching asshole.
If you thought that was over the top, Capcom has decided to up the ante by making Leon Vin Diesel, or should I say making Vin Diesel look bad, because he literally jumps over a skyscraper in a post-apocalyptic raccoon city.
What the fuck?
Seriously,
All right, we're just
I don't give up that easy.
drive on top of the building. Drive on the fucking building. No fucking way. No fucking way. What the fuck? This shit's fire! This shit's fire! What the fuck?
Now, we've already kind of discussed some of the gameplay in regard to the two play styles, with Grace being the horror focused and Leon being action focused. When looking at the arsenal that you'll be having throughout the game, these tools reflect those play styles perfectly. You'll have a fair selection of Leon, while Grace you'll be limited to 3 guns, one being Leon's Magnum Requiem, which Grace will lose halfway through the game. You won't be able to upgrade Grace's guns, but you will be able to hold on to charms that buff different aspects of your playthrough, but they will also take up some of your limited space, which makes you play that inventory management game. What's more important? You're gonna have to decide. I think the lack of upgrades to guns and gun selection is absolutely the best choice, as it forces the fear factor of this side of the game. Sure, you can unlock more weapons from the bonus section, but for your first playthrough, you won't be running around mowing down enemies as Grace. In fact, compared to Leon's axe and parrying, Grace uses a knife mostly to get zombies off her and quickly escape. Sure, you can swing your blade around like Leon, But Grace is limited dramatically on the use of her makeshift knives, as they break very quickly and instantly break when using them to escape the grasp of enemies. You feel weak and fragile, forcing you to rely on stealth and strategy.
Knife out. Thank you. This is the shit I'm talking about. It's like, what? Playing as Grace is definitely hard mode. Oh, fuck me.
Some puzzles and mechanics feel very traditional and reused in Resident Evil 9, such as the cube puzzle, which becomes more noticeable with your second run of the game. Many of these gem puzzles have you run back and forth around the map, just like the classics, giving it the classic vibe of Resident Evil. This gameplay will resonate with you if you love that. However, there are people who don't like it, so much so that they're actually making mods that let you skip the hospital part entirely. Many of these are classic Resident Evil style tasks, which either you love it or you hate it. On the flip side, Leon provides more opportunity to slay out. His arsenal starts out slow with his magnum, then his pistol, that while adding a shotgun and a sniper and SMG to his arsenal, it's not until later that he gains access to the catalog of new weapons that you can simply buy by killing enemies. I'm not sure who is paying Leon to kill zombies for cash. It makes no sense to the story, but cool, I guess.
All right, it's time to play with some new toys. I'm so excited. How many times are we gonna do this, player, Mr. Kennedy? Hold on. I'm loading the mods real quick. Hell yeah! We locked and loaded. I just downloaded the mods to be Master Chief. Hell yeah! We're ready to play this shit right now. Let's get it. Pew, 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 pew. Time to finish the fight, baby. Winter, stop him. Stop him now. I'm done with this shit.
Now, I do have a criticism. I hate that essentially after the first part of the game, you just unlock guns instead of exploring them and finding them. I like the aspect of Capcom games where you can miss out on weapons if you don't explore, but also the fact that they hand out guns slowly so you aren't just deleting your inventory for the best stuff. I know this is a minor complaint, but I do like the extra reason to explore the world. With all the toys that Leon unlocks, he's able to equip charms directly to buff his guns, but he can also upgrade his guns by providing attachments similar to Resident Evil 4. Even giving his guns sights, which can be used for aiming or in first-person mode. Which is a perfect transition, as Res 9 allows you to experience both Leon and Grace in either first person or third person.
Resident Evil offers you the ability to change camera perspectives. It is recommended to use first person perspective when playing as Grace to enhance the horror elements, and to use third person perspective when playing as Leon to enhance the action elements. I love this, by the way. They took like, hey, you can play Resident Evil 4, or you could play classic Resident Evil.
Grace is more catered to that first-person experience, while Leon is catered to third-person. Now, it does actually matter for different difficulties with what mode you play in. When playing Grace in third-person, she can run and fall to the ground, but she can also gain a wider radius that enemies can interact with her. Leon just feels weird in first person, at least to me it does. That's all I gotta say about that. In Resident Evil 9, the T-Virus makes a return in a mutated form which allows zombies to retain their memories, which makes them more unique and dangerous. Many keeping aspects about their former selves, such as the different professions which influence their behavior, such as a zombie that sings.
Okay, I'm just gonna scooch on by. Y'all keep singing. Listen, I am so sorry. I did not mean to walk in. You know, you and your secretary, sometimes nature kicks in and you just gotta bang on the rug.
And screams at you when you get too close. Doctors using surgical tools. Blind patients swinging their IV because they hate sound. The chef chopping up body parts as if he's going to present a meal.
Nope, not me! Sorry, sir! You're just beating meat. Literally, not just like jokingly.
The soldiers still using their weapons. Early on in the game, there's a plethora of unique interactions, but after the hospital, it does seem like all unique behavior is gone, and it's just back to your typical shooting zombies, which kind of sucks. Another criticism is more focused on Leon, as when he faces off against bosses, they seem rather easy. Now, I know insanity exists to make the entire game challenging, but at base, most of the bosses seem like a few moments of pew 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 rather than actually navigating and having to think about mechanics. Even the last two boss fights are pretty lackluster, as it's less about damage and strategy checks and more of a shoot boss, run around, don't get hit, shoot boss again, and just they die until you've done all the preset rotations that you can't skip outside of using the RPG. The final fight is literally shooting pimples on the boss's body, destroy a cluster of pimples, then do the same thing again, and then the boss is dead. It's a really cool boss fight, but it feels like it would have been better being a quick time event than rather the whatever fight we got, the pimple popper. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some really cool bosses and unique variety of them that don't feel like you're rehashing the same fight over and over again. From a mutated spider to a mutated zombie plant? Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. To a surprise throwback of having to face off against Mr. X.
Can we actually kill this asshole?
I couldn't save them. But I can stop bastards like you.
Hell yeah, Leon, let's fucking go.
Like, this was such a cool moment and a full circle to the experience of Raccoon City. Even Hunk, introduced in Resident Evil 4, finally gets to face off against Leon in a pretty cool 1v1 situation.
It's Hunk from, I only know him from Resident Evil 4. Mercenaries. It's Hunk!
Leon Kennedy. We finally meet.
Even Lickers make an appearance and are annoying as ever.
Oh no. Shit! No! Fuck! No! How did they break quarantine? Oh, fuck.
If you don't kill all the mini bosses like the fat blob, I forgot what he's actually called, but you all know exactly what I'm, McDonald's lover, 69, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And then the hulking chef, and even the unique zombies like the singer, Leon will actually provide unique dialogue when interacting with these enemies, which is really cool, allowing for more variety in experiences. Though I will say, a massive con with the hospital is if you deal with the enemies as Grace, when you play as Leon, you will have literally nothing to do except for the parts of the map only he can unlock, which does feel pretty lame as it shortens your time with Leon in the hospital until later. Now, while we're discussing replayability, how is Resident Evil 9 overall after beating it once? Well, after beating the game, you unlock the Insanity mode, which even with infinite ammo is still a bitch and a half to do. But without it, you're almost having to rely on strategies before you even play the game. You'll have to figure out how to deal with all the aggressive enemies, how to kill them fast, how to navigate your ammo. All of this means nothing because everything feels tanky. Now, people have sped run Insanity in under 2 hours, and I can't even fathom how they did that. Now, you automatically get access to modern, casual, and classic mode, and replaying these really doesn't do anything new, but I figure I might as well talk about it in this section since we talked about Insanity mode. Now, casual allows you to easily do your challenges, your triumphs, to unlock those bonus stuff, right? Modern and classic are the same essentially, but classic forces Grace to use ribbons to save and is limited until you unlock the infinite ribbon in both settings. By the way, that's the same thing for Insanity mode. You'll have to use ribbon. One of the main reasons you'll be replaying is finishing challenges, such as beating the game under 4 hours, which I managed to do myself exactly on the dot.
Let's go! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Perfect timing! Perfect!
Outside of that, the biggest criticisms I have for replayability is that there is no new game plus at all. All your progress is not carried forward, and you will have to choose to do a new game every time. I also feel like Resident Evil 4 had better replay value, not only for the new game plus, but it also had the Mercenaries mode, which would have added more to Resident Evil 9, in my opinion. But I have to say it is a massive sin in 2026 that all modern single-player games have new game plus of some sort, but not Resident Evil 9. It makes no sense. Resident Evil 9 does an amazing job with its environment selection, from Rhodes Hill Care Center, which gives it an infected hospital vibe, to the post-apocalyptic Raccoon City, to the sinister, sleek laboratories of Ark. Early on, you explore a hotel which gives off creepy haunted vibes, which sets the tone for Grace perfectly. Then as the story progresses, you move to the hospital, which provides more classic Resident Evil location vibes, which then quickly changes to the post-apocalyptic Raccoon City, which honestly to me was the best part of the game. It felt damn near like a different game on its own. But Resident Evil does such a good job at spreading enemies, items, and hidden collectibles that each part of the open world map felt unique and like a different experience. Lastly, you can explore Ark, an umbrella facility that gives you the classic evil organization lab setting. I don't have much to say. I would say this felt like the weakest environment, as it felt like a generic lab setting. That's all I've got to say about it. Resident Evil 9 provides a wonderful experience graphically. Even if you run on performance mode, this game looks gorgeous. From the lighting to the sound design and the visual style, I don't get generally hyper focus on like games, having to look good. Usually I look at gameplay and then graphics. I see it as a cherry on top. And let me tell you, Resident Evil 9 has earned its cherry.
Dude, can we also talk about the rain? Like, it looks really fucking good. The attention, even the buildings, look at the shimmer of the buildings, dude. The buildings look wet. I am moist because the buildings are moist. Wait, and you could actually look at the windows. There's actually like water sliding off the windows. And then you have this generic box. It's kind of funny, the comparison. It's like JPEG picture here, but then damn, water. 7 out of 10. Too much water.
Resident Evil 9 is chock full of member berries and nostalgia, and it's done very tastefully and respectfully. A lot of games love to use nostalgia as bait and make it feel cheap and deserved. Resident Evil 9 provides a lot of respect to the source material of its former games.
What do we got? Hey yo! Hey yo! Wesker! Was the last? Hey Whoa! Wesker! Why do you have a sexy basketball girl? Is that... Why does she seem so familiar to me? RPD. High school level chick, or college. It could be college, I don't know. Wesker was straight gooning. Oh, my man, he's out there trying to dominate. No wonder he became a bad guy. He never got the baddie. He never got to hit on the real thing. So it's Rebecca. Oh, it's Rebecca from Resident Evil 2.
From bosses like Mr. X to one-liners from Leon, the reminiscent of Ada Wong, to revisiting classic locations like the RPD, hidden collectibles. Each time Capcom uses a moment of nostalgia, it is used in a way that makes sense for the story, including those Easter eggs, such as finding Wesker's hidden photo of Rebecca in high school. Yes, Albert Wesker was a Gooner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Who's a dirty girl? Yeah, who's a dirty girl? Yeah. Yes, you are.
Zeno or Grossman, what the fuck are you gooning over there? What are you doing? What are you gooning to?
The pinnacle of humankind, baby.
It's a picture of a high school girl, isn't it?
Ew. What the fuck is wrong with you? No, it's this sexy beast right here.
Finally, at the end of our review, we have the narrative. Resident Evil 9 follows the combined story of Grace Ashford, FBI analyst, and Leon Kennedy, veteran special agent, as they are both forced to face their past. The main narrative is driven by the mysterious appearance of the Raccoon City Syndrome, or Umbrella's Curse, as later stated in the story. Survivors of the Raccoon incident are mysteriously dying from this sickness, and the ones infected include Leon and his partner Sherry, who also makes a return in Resident Evil 9. Dr. Victor Gideon, a former Umbrella researcher, orchestrates events to lure Grace to the Wrenwood Hotel and subsequently the Rhodes Hale Chronic Care Center. Gideon, a former researcher obsessed with the T-virus, believes Grace's blood is the key to his master plan, leading her abduction and forced navigation of horrors that appear in the care center. The journey forces Leon and Grace to uncover the truth of Elpis, the last bioweapon, or is believed to be by Zeno, a leading member of the Connections, which if you didn't play 7 or 8 like me, you have no idea who the fuck the Connections are. But Zeno is trying to obtain power of Elpis and is rumored to be the last creation that allows for mind control over others. Both Zeno and Victor work together to find the key to unlock Elpis, even to the point where they made clones of Grace, which Emily, who is a little girl in the story, actually is not a clone of Grace, but a failed earlier experiment. But the entire plot of Grace being a key was just a major red herring, as she's not a clone or a super genetic being. She's just a normal person, which makes no sense, because she was bitten by someone infected with a mutated T-virus. So how is she not infected? Also, Victor took her blood sample. He could have easily tell she was just a normal person. Also, why did they make a bunch of clones when Elpis needed a password? Did they think Grace was the weapon before they realized it was sealed away at Ark? Also, Zeno believes Grace has the password. Why would he have Victor take her to the hospital instead of straight to Zeno himself? Also, the game does a horrible job explaining the Raccoon City Syndrome. Like, every person who survived the Raccoon City incident suddenly started developing symptoms of this disease roughly the same time, 28 years later. No prior medical examination picked up the latest T-virus, and these people and the disease progression doesn't match what has been shown of the T-virus before. And these individuals aren't actively being rounded up before they can trigger another outbreak. Why the fuck is Zeno like showing the symptoms himself? The explanation of who gets infected is not clearly explained in this game. Victor Gideon uses a modified strand of the T-virus, the tyrant virus, to cause a condition known as Raccoon City Syndrome. This variant, designed by the Connections, is a evolved version of the T-virus that causes higher intelligence and cognitive function in the infected rather than mindless zombification. Infected individuals succumb to the disease, but they don't reanimate, which makes no sense if you naturally have Raccoon City syndrome. Over time, you won't turn into a zombie, but if you're directly injected with it, then you do become a zombie. Also, again, no one was bitten by zombies turned into one. Also, the government is just letting Leon run around infected, or is he keeping it a complete secret? What was Leon's plan if he didn't find a cure? Don't worry, I have more questions and criticism for the plot. This game isn't escaping my brutal honesty here. The story comes to the conclusion when the truth is revealed that Spencer never created a bioweapon to control the mind of others, but rather was an antiviral cure. However, let's rewind that tape a bit. The game actually has 2 endings, which is just a bait. And you're literally gaslighted to believe that destroying Elpis is what you need to do. But if you do that, you get the bad ending, which leads to Leon getting his face blasted.
Oh, he's deaf. Oh, yep. I feel like we chose the wrong path here.
At least I could save you.
But if you do choose to release Elpis, Xeno takes the Elpis and thinks it's in a power-up and just immediately injects himself, and he becomes a normal-ass guy. By the way, Xeno's identity is not officially announced in the game, but based on Victor's statement of him being an imitation and his characteristics in his type of movement, he's basically a clone of Albert Wesker, which is cool because Leon has never faced off against Wesker like Chris did. So it was like one of those what-if situations. However, a criticism I have is that Xeno was the biggest nothing burger I have ever seen from a villain. Not only did he not, you don't actually fight him, he does nothing but kill a few BSAA soldiers. He jumps around and beats up Leon, but the dude doesn't do anything. He gets cured and instantly dies to Victor.
You and Spencer were a means to an end. Yet he outwitted you all. Spencer defied us and paid the price with his life. He was nothing. You are nothing but an imitation. It's over, Victor. The Connections is done with you.
He's earned the title Timu Wesker on the internet. It doesn't make sense that Xeno would take Elpis and immediately inject himself with this unknown substance. No research, no analysis. Dude just sticks random needles in his neck, no questions asked.
Mr. Kennedy, you have a front row seat to witness my true power.
Was something supposed to happen when you injected yourself?
Yes, the mind control powers, so I can manipulate the masses, the game market, and continue my world domination of gaming.
Yeah, that's just a cure you used.
I don't feel any different. What the hell's going on here?
Oh, so you're just a greedy asshole naturally. And here I thought it was just a virus, but you're just a typical gaming corpo leader scumbag. Neat. Also, Elpis was going to be destroyed at if one more incorrect password was, placed into the machine. What happens if Grace doesn't know the password? no one can hack the system? Do you just pack it up and say, all right, we're moving on? The fact that the only thing Grace is needed for is the floppy disk with a video of Spencer mentioning hope, which gives her the idea of using hope as a reason to put in the password hope, which, by the way, Resident Evil 9 completely retcons Resident Evil 5 because Spencer was proclaiming himself to be a god in Resident Evil 5, then he was killed by Wesker. Whereas in Resident Evil 9, he's regretting his choices. So either Resident Evil 5 Remake is coming out and they're about to change a lot of things, or someone forgot about Resident Evil 5 lore. Also, I'm confused after playing multiple times with Victor's goal. He wants to fulfill Spencer's goal of using the cure, which would make bioweapons useless and cause anarchy.
Is he Wesker?
Genius. With Elpis, all virus-based weapons are useless. The world order will be thrown into chaos.
He's gonna cure all.
Wanted a weapon.
Instead, Spencer gave us anarchy. I will carry his torch and bring his vision to life.
Okay, that.
But if he plans to release the cure to the world, wouldn't that make him not a bad guy? Sure, we end up fighting him and killing him, but him being a nemesis type, we could have cured him and let him cure the world. I'm really not sure how Victor's plan is different from our hero's plan, since he wants to cure the world and make all bioweapons useless. Chaos, anarchy. I don't know what he really was trying to do. Also, can we talk about how the game started because Grace's boss sent her alone to a hotel where her mother was murdered with no support?
Your eyes on the crime scene. The Renwood Hotel. Look, I know that's where your mother was murdered.
Ooh!
And I know it'll be upsetting for you.
Why her?
What the fuck is wrong with you? Who does that? The real villain of the game is that asshole. Oh, and just one little thing. Grace gets poor little Emily killed because she needs Emily to read the Braille, but Grace's lazy ass could have gone to a previous puzzle where it has the symbols and the Braille. She could have literally wrote down or scribbled what the Braille symbols were for each, sun, moon, star, and then went back to the office. She didn't need Emily to decipher. She literally got a innocent little girl, killed because she was too lazy to go upstairs and get a fucking Braille SketchUp. Overall, Resident Evil 9 concludes Leon's umbrella story, allowing Leon to confront his past and finally move on from his moments in Raccoon City feeling regret at not saving people in Resident Evil 2 to feeling angry and wanting to take everything in Umbrella down. He finally got the closure he needed, wrapping up the Umbrella storyline.
Leon does not give a fuck, dude. He's a fucking badass. He's such a badass! It's like...
This time, you ain't getting back up.
Dude. He's a fucking Chad. Leon is a fucking Chad.
Now, it seems the connections are the new organization and what Leon's future is, what he's going to be facing off against. I don't know. We'll just have to find out. We do know that they're making DLC for Resident Evil 9, which is exciting. And I can't wait to see how Leon's overall story ends. Because the guy's 50 years old and he's going to be retiring eventually. Will Resident Evil finally come to an end, or will they just keep rebooting it? We'll have to see. I give Resident Evil Requiem a 9 out of 10. It's damn near perfect for a single player game, and I would recommend everyone give it a try. This game shows not only do people still want amazing AAA games, but they want amazing games in general. So don't let anyone tell you gamers want games to fail. They only want shitty ones to fail. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to game out. I'll see you in the next Brutally Honest review. Huzzah. Game out. Oh man, it's hot as hell. Oh, this thing stinks. I'm sweating up in here. Woo!
God dang it. Can you stay on? God, son of a bitch. This thing is so annoying. Hey! Cool guy. I'm cool. Leon, I'm cool. Pew, pew, pew. Ow. Oh, watcha. I parry everything. Yeah. I'm cool. Fuck you.